coming across just fine. If there isn't much of any feedback, my Bluetooth headphones might turn off. So I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. Now, I was supposed to go on Instagram Live too, but that's not happening. So I'm going to get right down to the bottom of it. I'm breaking my hiatus again because there was very big news that just happened today, and that has to do with a federal judge in the District of Columbia striking down the federal moratorium that is a ban on evictions, or the federal eviction moratorium, or federal eviction bans, however you want to call it. There's just so many of those things going around. So normally I wait for people to try to hop in, and it's been a long time since I last done a YouTube live. I mostly do my lives over on Instagram, but I figured I should do this one on YouTube. I was about to exercise, but I got an email from the National Association of Realtors that I was actually waiting for, because I needed to know what position the Association of Realtors was taking on this. So in this case, they finally remembered some of their, I guess, consumer base, the people they say they tend to support. So let me just read to you real quick what this letter is. And thanks for shrinking it for me. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up on this phone. Different apps. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. So the long and short of it, U.S. District Attorney. Sorry, I just recently watched Batman Begins. U.S. District Court Judge Debney L. Friedrich of the District of Columbia struck down a nationwide eviction moratorium Wednesday, calling it unlawful. Friedrich's ruling applies nationwide, so that's important to note. Okay, this is an eviction ban that was put in place last year by the Trump administration using public health powers granted to the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, during the health emergencies, and the ban was recently extended by the current administration to the end of June. But it has since been overturned. So in her 20-page ruling, Frederick said it is the role of the political branches and not the courts to assess the merits of policy measures designed to combat the spread of disease, even during a global pandemic. The question for the court is a narrow one. Does the Public Health Service Act grant the CDC the legal authority to impose a nationwide eviction moratorium? It does not. Thank you. Because of course it doesn't. But this is in response to how much power you can actually give a health department to upend economic policies and stuff in the name of a pandemic. So the ones that were behind this were the Georgia and Alabama Association of Realtors, two housing providers and their property management companies. They filed the suit in defense of mom and pop property owners around the country struggling to pay bills without rental income for more than a year. Let me repeat that again. Okay, I sped through that one. The Georgia and Alabama Association of Realtors et al. Filed the suit in defense of mom and pop property owners around the country struggling to pay bills without rental income for more than a year. That's what makes it significant. Because the reason I say that the National Association of Realtors actually serve the community that they supposedly are serving, or do they just serve other special interests and lobbyists? And in this case, it appears that the NAR, which is their acronym, which they had helped secure nearly $50 billion in rental assistance. And there goes my Bluetooth. So hold on, my microphone might be thrown off right now. So let me just fix this real quick. Okay, hold on. I'm waiting for a little bell. Okay, I should be connected again on Bluetooth. I'm sorry if the audio was a little interrupted. I was using Bluetooth off this thing, and I forget if there's no sound coming from the source, then the headphones will assume that you're not really using the headphones anymore. So let's say battery here. Battery saving mode. Okay, anyway, NAR, which helped secure nearly $50 billion in rental assistance provided by Congress since December to help tenants pay their bills and provide relief to housing providers who have lost income, supported the lawsuit, saying that the ban was no longer needed. I'm going to get to that in a bit. NAR has always maintained that the best solution for all parties was rental assistance to cover the rent, taxes, and utility bills for tenants struggling during the pandemic. Since NAR President Charlie Oppler, the decision prevents two crises, one for tenants and one for mom and pop housing providers who do not have have a reprieve from their bills. With rental assistance secured, the economy growing, and unemployment rates falling, there is no need to continue a blanket nationwide eviction ban. With this safety net firmly in place, the market needs a return to normalcy and stability. Oppler adds that our attention now should turn to swift and efficient implementation of rental assistance. So if anyone's interested, let me know, and I'll leave a link to the actual court opinion. It's about 20 pages long if you want want to read something, that's something to read. But those were the highlights from there. And that's important to note. So I just read to you what that news is, but what does that mean to you where you might be? And that's just it. It's to each their own, because this is the federal moratorium or the eviction ban. There's some states that have implemented their own, and there are some municipalities that implemented their own on top of that. So essentially, it works like this: the federal level might be gone, but if there's one in your state that's already been imposed, that one still applies. And in most cases, the city ones, the local ordinances, tend to be a lot more strict. So in California, there is an eviction moratorium here, but in certain municipalities like Los Angeles, for example, they're even stricter. So this federal ban is not going to really affect much of anything, for example, LA, but that's something that's there's to note. When that's going to finish, it's again to each their own. But at least for some other mom and pop shops, uh, there's some form of reprieve there, because one of the big struggles that there have been since this whole thing started, basically housing providers, as it's being said, were the ones left holding the bag, because the eviction moratorium said you cannot charge the tenants rent, but you can't turn the lights off either. You're paying for the utilities. You still got to pay the rent. You still got to pay the insurance. You still got to pay the mortgage. Forbearance was not a solution. And if you follow my program enough, you would know that the forbearance was actually detrimental to what it pretended to help. Whereas there was freeze rent, cancel rent, or forgive debt rental stuff for tenants. There was nothing like that applied over to property owners. And I had some people ask me, well, why don't you come up with the PPP? Well, yeah, the PPP was a program that you can only apply to a certain window, and once that was closed, that was it. And quite honestly, most of you that know, I'm a big Tom Brady fan. I'm still not happy that his TB12 sports company actually took a PPP. Why? When you have someone that has skin in the company that makes so much money and could keep that company afloat forever without ever making any income from that business. No, that's what happened. People that needed it did not get the money, and the ones that were hurt the most, especially with a lot of upheaval that's happened. I don't want to get into details of it, but I'm sure that when people were out there destroying property and insurances were, oh yeah, they'll have insurance to cover it. No, that's not how it works. Not when you put your life savings into a business or into a property and it went up in flames and there's absolutely no coverage for it, or in some cases you couldn't even afford to have insurance there. All that was gone. So is this federal moratorium ban, is this going to go a long way? Maybe for some, but I don't believe it's going to have a big effect on others, unless this becomes like a domino effect where it sets precedents that that courts or health departments should not be dictating eviction moratoriums at all. Where it should be left to different governing bodies, not a health department, to impose such things. So that's the only thing I could think of. We'll see. It's been a big battle here in California. Multiple different groups have also been involved in lawsuits to try to get to California. I have yet to hear much of any update on that, but there's something I am looking into that I'm hoping to deliver as an update to all of you that are curious, that want answers. And as soon as I know, I'll let you know. But if I can't get those answers directly, there is a seminar I missed out on. It happened about a week since I'm doing this live, and if I can get my hands on a link to the actual seminar, I'll watch it myself too, to make sure it provides information that you need if you find yourself in California or affected by the eviction moratorium here at the state, or even worse at local levels like Los Angeles, and what options are available to you, because there are some rules that have changed in that respect. And again, it's to each their own. So I'll get to the bottom of that and deliver the news as much as I can. But anyway, I'm supposed to be on hiatus, but this is big. I need to let you know that's what I do. So now I'm gonna get working now. Despite how late it is, I gotta get the body moving. So thank you very much for tuning in, for those of you that have, and stay tuned for more content coming soon. Until then, follow me on the socials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Now for that awkward, how do I stop this video thing?